Back, guys, just find your feet again. Just find yourself, ground yourself. Always good to place your attention on the feet because it's the furthest point away from the head. Just takes you from your head and grounds you. Is that really true? Not really, but it's just, it helps you to have a visual aspect and go, oh, I'm in my head, and just place your attention, or place your attention on the breath. It's even more powerful. But everyone, just take a moment right now just to find your center again. How was your lunch?
Good.
Did you have some pondering time? Yeah? Self-pondering or group pondering? Group pondering. Anything interesting show up? Anything interesting present itself? Besides the big lips?
Oh, I was actually going to say a couple of necklaces in a boutique, but...
Does anyone want to share anything, any questions before we kick on to the...
Yeah, I have a question. Just as we broke up and no one asked about the aircon, I said I was trying to draw the power, but then we got talking about it. Then I worked out, I realised that just about everything I say is a story now. So
Everything you say is what?
Well, a story, like, and there's some you talk about Rome and, so how do you have conversations in your life then? Like, do you keep one part, like an essence in that part and still, because obviously you've got to walk around and talk to people and you don't want to be walking around and people going, oh, that's just a story and being a wanker sort of thing. So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So, and I struggle with that because when I'm really, sort of like, oh, that's all a story, but now I know I want to connect with people and you have to connect to the story. So I guess I wanted your experience.
Totally, it's a really good question because the point of sharing all this is to take the formless and bring it into the form. So take the infinite and bring it into the finite. So it's take this and bring it into your everyday life. However you want to take it. Take this and bring it into your story. But there's a difference between a story being a story, okay? Because you're still here to experience yourself through this body. You're still here to experience, like I said before, that's a wall, that's a label. You're like, well, as soon as you say that's a wall, this is a chair, then you're labeling, then that's the story. But there's a difference between experiencing through the story versus being the story. The moment the story is charged, then you be the story. Then being the story means you be the reflected. Okay? When the story is no longer charged, you become, or the story is the shadow. When the story is no longer charged, then you become the light projecting the shadow. You become the reflector. It's easy to look at yourself in the mirror and go, oh, look, that's me in the mirror. Well, it's not. You're the one who's standing in front of the mirror and you're reflecting into the mirror. Well, when you see a charged story, you become the reflected. Well, the reflected doesn't have any power. It's the reflector, the person who's reflecting. The one that's reflecting, that's the power. So it's... Another quote I read recently, Rumi, the great Persian poet, talked about that, I think it was Rumi, talked about the light being projected on different walls. And it looks different when it's been projected on a brown wall, or when it's been projected on different walls, it looks different, but it's all the same light. So you're not the light on the wall, you're actually the light. So, but the moment you have a story that's charged, then you can't see that. Okay, so that's where, when you realize it is a story. Now, if you're trying to understand what I'm saying intellectually, you're going, well, it's just a story, but you have charge about it. But that means that's like the story going, it's a story. Okay, but when you dissolve the charge, which is what we're about to talk about, when you reclaim your power, okay, then you actually become aware of the light projecting the shadow. And that's what we're here to talk about. So at the end of the day, yes, when you become whole and complete, you're still experiencing yourself through the story. But the whole story, when we say it's a story, it's an illusion that there's something outside of you that has power. That's the illusion. There's nothing outside of you that's a power. Everything is there because of you, including this physical body. It's there because of you. The power is in you. But when I say you, not you as the physical body, because you as a physical body is the finite. The power is in the feeling that moves you. You must get more. You must reassociate yourself with that feeling. Reconnect yourself with that feeling. The more you allow yourself to be moved with one, the more you move as one with that feeling, the more you become that. Does that answer your question? It's the charge.
I just find, and even at lunch, I was pondering that I just so easily, in a conversation, particularly in a conversation with people, probably, sort of into the story. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And something I'll charge you, and I'm quite sensitive, so I get lots of charge, and so it's like, it's just constant.
It's good. That means you're sensitive to energy as well. You're sensitive to power. If you take, because the energies, you put charge in it, you're sensitive to its charge. But if you dissolve the charge or reclaim the charge, okay, then you'll be sensitive to the power too.
Yeah, and I have experienced that. I just, for me, I find it easy to do it on my own. I mean, I just moved back to my country town. I mean, to sort of spend some time on my own.
Yeah.
I just find it difficult around people to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the experience I have at the moment.
Yeah, I understand. Well, you do whatever feels true for you. There's no right or wrong way of doing this.
No.
I mean, I haven't really followed this path. I've had people around me who maybe were supportive, but really it's a path you take on your own. I love time by myself. And then I love time sharing with others, but only once I've spent time with myself first. Did anything else come up for anyone else while pondering? Hey guys, hey? Facebook? Okay.
Yeah. Just the same thing, going back to story and stuff. People putting their stuff there. I've only pretty much haven't done much at all on Facebook until I didn't decide. Somebody put to me, do you want to do an event New Year's Eve? And I felt like doing it. Yeah, I'd love to do that. So just put the call out there and put it on Facebook. And since doing that, a lot of people sort of wanting to be my friend and get gigs and do stuff. And so I've been finding myself, I'm calling it crack book now because I can't stay off it. It's like, I've got to see what's going on and who's doing what and whatever. And just some of the stories, and I've been quite politically incorrect because I'm not filtering what I just like feel like, somebody says something, if I feel like reacting to it, I'll just put it down, I don't think about it. But then I've upset some people along the way doing that and lost a few Facebook friends. And it sort of comes back to story. I just think people, I don't need to know that you feel like going to bed. I don't, there's some content in Facebook that I really find enriching, but then I know they're all reflections of me, but I just get so frustrated sometimes with.
Yeah, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Just noise in modern society.
Yeah, it's noise.
Just noise. And it's like everything's distracting you from just being still or being yourself.
The only person who can distract you is yourself.
Yeah, but I think everybody feels the same. They're all drowned in noise.
So sort of just, thought, no, I'm just going to step back because I was actually happier before Facebook, crack book. So that sort of came up.
So that's what came up in your pondering?
Facebook.
Okay.
Phone out and, no, what am I doing?
Just remember one thing, pondering is not charged. If your pondering is charged, it's not pondering. It's thinking. Pondering is not charged thoughts. That's charged thoughts.
Yeah.
So when you're pondering, the thoughts are, and they're of matters that are internal. You use externals as a reference.
Yeah.
You might refer to and Facebook, but there's no charge against it. So these thoughts are internal thoughts. They're thoughts of the present moment. You may refer to the past and go, remember when I was a kid, this happened, and then it comes back into the present moment.
Yeah.
So only references to external, references to the past, future, but they're not thoughts of the past or future. And they're just thoughts that are coming and arising through you. They're not charged.
Mm-hmm.
So just be aware of that. Just like when you're experiencing happiness for no reason, I always use that as a reference point. We've all experienced moments. Who's experienced a moment where they've experienced happiness for no reason? Yeah. So that is a moment of neutrality. There's no charge. You see, most people think happiness is positive. Okay, so that positive, the happiness that you're experiencing that's a positive is not real. It's temporary. Anything that's finite is temporary. Anything. That's why they say the only thing that's real is the very thing you came into this world and the very thing you'll leave this world with. It's the only thing that's real, because everything of the world is not real because it's finite. It's what the finite's made from, which is infinity, that's real. So finite is separation, finite is duality. So the point of today is to be able to take this realization and live in the story. Live in the story, and to even be able to use your head, because I'm about to talk about reclaiming power, and I'm going to even support you in you using your head. You see, right now we're talking about thinking, but pondering thinking is different. You're using your head for pondering, okay? Yes, it's fueled from your heart, it's fueled from a different part of you, but it arises from your heart and arises into your head, and then you make it into words and you're thinking. See? You can use your head to lose yourself, or you can use it to find yourself. Okay, so I'm going to actually, when you really get this, you realize, oh wow, the head's really supportive. I mean, without it, of course, without it, you wouldn't be experiencing the external reality. You wouldn't be experiencing the physical reality. Without the left brain, without your 5 human senses, you wouldn't experience yourself being separate. So it's essential to have the human experience. But you can then use that, once you awaken, you then use that part of yourself. You just use it. You don't become it. You don't look to own it. You use it, just like you use your clothes. You're just using it. So you're going to realize that, oh wow, the head is really supportive. So let's continue and pick up where we left off. Let's just quickly recap. So we started this morning by speaking about what? How do you know when something has power over you? What was the answer? This is a realization we come together. What did the pondering lead us to? You try to control something. And if you're trying to control something, what does it mean? It's controlling you. So that means that's how you know when something has power over you, because it's controlling you. Then we went even further and peeled the onion layers even back even more, and then we spoke about, well, when is the actual point that you put power into something? Not the beginning point, the Big Bang Theory, or right at the beginning when you came into the physical existence, where you put your power into billions of parts. I'm not talking about that part. But how do you redistribute or continue to put your power into something? What was the point? Label as? Yeah, label with charge, not just label. Okay, because then you think, well, how do I even live in this world? How do we live in the story? We still here to experience a story, yeah, but a neutral story. And that neutral, remember, the neutral doesn't mean nothing. Nothing means everything. It's the nothingness is the everything. It's where everything is one. The nothingness is the infinity. So that neutrality is not like it's nothing. Well, yes, it's nothing, and that's why it's infinite. So it's the moment you label something with charge. In other words, the moment you label something with judgment. This is a chair. No, this is a good chair. Boom, charge. Then remember, you create story. You continue to create story to support your charge. You're continuously creating story to support your charge or to support your truth. And the truth doesn't have a charge. So that's why sometimes you're driving along, you start seeing a sign. And you see a signpost and it says, whatever. And you're like, wow, and it's supporting your story, or the truth story, if you like. It's supporting the truth. You're like, and they're more like signposts. Okay? The story that supports the charge has a story. The signposts are just like quick, boom, just like intuition. It's just quick. It just drops in, you feel it, and there's no story attached to it. There's no charge attached to it. Can you see what I'm saying? Can you see there's a difference between living through the story and being the story? Being the story means you're charged. You become the story. You become the small. You become small Amir in the story. And Amir's got this story. He's got the past. He's got the future. Amir was born in 1978 and da-da-da. Do you even remember being born? No, but I definitely was. There's a story attached to it. This is why my platinums don't work anymore. This is why da-da-da-da. So just to recap. So then finally, what we want to finish today off with, what we want to start to dissect and have our next pondering session on is reclaiming power. No use talking about reclaiming power if you can't pinpoint what it is to put power into something, what it means to put power. So we've done that, and your between now and the next time we meet is to continuously just be aware. Oh, look at that, I said that's good, or that's bad. Don't go, oh shit. Just notice how you're labeling things and putting charges into it. Just notice it every day. This is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. It shouldn't be this, it should have been this. Could have, would have, credit, blame, build up, beat up. All those scenarios. Just catch yourself, just notice it. And go, oh, look at that, I'm putting power in it. If you want to continue to put power in it, do it. Put power in it and just watch what happens. And then you'll be like, wow, look at that. The moment I put power into this, just watch it. Don't not try to put power in it. This is the exercise is, remember, listen to me very carefully. The exercise is not to not, that's a word, not to not try to, it's not to, yeah, that's the best way I can put it. Can you just move back a little bit so I can see Kelly as well? Don't try not to put power into things. I just want you to notice when you do put power into things, just notice what happens. Notice the response. Notice the outcome. Okay? Because if you try not to put power into things, then guess what you're going to try to do? What you most probably do? You're going to probably go out there and put a lot of power into things. And that's cool. Then you notice what happens when you put power into things. Okay? It's just an awareness. Just continue to go, oh, look at that. I labeled that good. This recently happened for me because I'm in a new relationship. And most of you have heard about Sally or met Sally. And she's someone I've been dating for 5 months. And it's very easy, because I've never met anyone like this, it was very easy for me to go, this relationship's really good, I really like it, like it's making me feel, can you see what I'm saying? That's not the truth. The truth is I'm feeling already a sense of love, a sense of wholeness. And then I manifest the story so I can reflect my sense of love, sense of wholeness through an experience of a relationship. Can you see? That's the truth with a capital T. But then if I give the truth to the story, then the truth to the story, I give the power to the story, which means I would say, oh, it's because of Sally I feel so wonderful. It's because of Sally, oh, she's wonderful. Wow, she's the best thing. And I'm just continuously putting power into it. Guess what happens? Oh, the honeymoon period finished. That's what we call it. That was just a honeymoon period. It's not real. Can you see what I'm saying? So I would continuously catch myself and putting power into it. And, you know, like I had friends of mine, actually she met a group of my friends just last night. And my friends would say, oh, what's going on? You know, like she lives in Melbourne. Are you guys planning to move into Sydney? No planning. You know, it will arise when it's time. Just like when it was time for me to meet someone like that, that's the same thing. It's not like it will arise. There's no like, hey, you know, we should talk about this. Do you want to move to Sydney? I mean, you live in Melbourne. How's this going to, you know, no planning. If I put power into the relationship, guess what I'll start to do? Planning, which comes from control. Control. As I start to give my control to, not to her necessarily, but to the idea of her, to the idea of being in that kind of relationship. Then I want to go, I want to sustain this relationship. I want to sustain this wealth. Relate this to wherever you want. I want to sustain this body, this health. I want to attain it, sustain it. I want to avoid it. All the different games. Then I put power into the relationship. Then I want to go and go, hey, we really should talk about what's going to happen, because you start to feel uncertain. The moment you put power into it, you start to feel uncertain. And then before you're fine about feeling uncertain, but the moment you put power into something, you're like, because when you haven't put power into something, your certainty comes from who you are. But when you're giving your power away to a circumstance, to an individual, to an idea, when you're giving your power away, then suddenly you feel a little bit uncertain. So then you go to the circumstances, the story, or the person, and you want to gain some certainty. Hey, we should talk about where we're going with this relationship, and you know what's going to happen. I mean, are we going to get married? Are we have kids? You know what I mean? And or you go into planning and you go, geez, I feel a little bit uncertain. I better have a plan, and just so I can feel a little bit more certain. So the plan will make you, it gives a band-aid and it just makes you feel a bit certain again. Okay. So that's why when I do my talks, and a lot of the time when I speak about this in Intuitive Warrior, I talk about I don't plan, and I tell people I'm not saying don't plan. I'm just saying I don't feel the need to plan, because my certainty comes from who I am, not what I do. But when someone doesn't know who they are, their awareness, or their lack awareness of who they are, then they need to gain more purpose or certainty from what they do, from what they have. So it's all about the haves and the doings, not from the being. Does that make sense? So let's continue. Reclaiming power. Reclaiming power. So I put the question out to you guys. What is it to reclaim power? Well, actually, let's define that question a little bit more. What is it that you do to reclaim power?
Give it space.
Give it space. So giving it space gets you to the point of being able to reclaim power. Why do we give it space? Because you neutralize the charge. You give something space, or in other words, giving something space is acceptance. It's embracing. When you're giving it space, you're saying, I don't need to change you. I'm not here to change you. I'm here to allow you to be, whatever it is. And really, this is not about the physical, it's about how you feel about the physical. So people go, well, I'm just going to go up to my relationship and my partner and allow them to be. Or I'm just going to go into my financial situation and allow it to be. It's not about allowing your financial situation to be. It's about allowing how you feel about your financial situation to be. That's what means to sit with it. And again, there's a big difference between sitting with the resistance of how you feel versus sitting in how you feel. Big difference, big difference. So yes, Jane, you allow it to be, right? Now, allowing it to be gets you to the point of neutralizing. This whole path is about continuously placing your attention on the truth. Continuously see the lie, break through the illusion, and place your attention on the truth. The very thing that's going to stop you from seeing the truth is what? Is the curtain that gets closed, which is the charge. So what Jane's saying is you're allowing it to be so then you can place your attention on the truth. That's not yet placing your attention on the truth. Allowing it to be, giving it space, allows you to become one with it. Okay? Allows you to blend with it, let's say. There's a point where you actually become one with it, and that's when you've reclaimed your power. What do you do to reclaim your power? And again, I've already said this. Place your attention on the truth. What's the truth? Now, this part of it, and how impacting this can be for you. Because the moment I place my attention on the truth, it's gone, baby, it's gone. Okay? But I've been doing this over and over and over again. This is where I would suggest for someone to do the WTF program or something that's going to get them to continuously experience the truth as many times as possible, because your depth of connection with your truth will determine how much power you reclaim. Because when I place my attention on the truth, boom, I'm there. Okay? But maybe your connection to the truth is a little bit weak. So you got to feed it. You see what I'm saying? So when I say place your attention on the truth, it's you. And all your pondering that you do, the more you see the truth in all things, the more impacting it will be when you place your attention on the truth. So, of course, everyone's at different stages. And this is why, get the WTF, buy it. Put it on a DVD, put it on an MP3, listen to it over and over again. That's what I would do if I wasn't you. If I wasn't you. If I was you, which I am you, but you get my point. That's what I would do. People ask me all the time for more suggestions. Well, that's what I would do. I would walk around and listen to that. I would eat with me. I would sleep with me. I would, you get my point. Continuously, or whatever you use to experience truth. The more you deepen your truth, the more this part where you say, what's the truth? But you can't see the truth if you are charged, if you are in judgment, yes? So we're clear about that. You first give it space to neutralize it. But once you've neutralized it, you're starting to blend or mend with the separation. But to reclaim the power, which means it no longer holds any power over you, it is to place your attention on the truth. In other words, it is to see the truth in the illusion. In other words, this physical being solid is an illusion. You see? The truth is this physical being is just energy. And all physical is energy. Okay? But to have a direct experience of that is very different to actually just intellectualize that. So, yes, as Kelly said, you place your attention on the truth. So then let's peel the onion back even more. How do you place your attention on the truth? Or what's the process? What do you do? How do you place your attention on the truth? I mean, the moment you place your attention on the truth, most people go into their heads and go, what's the truth? And then you internalize or intellectualize what the truth is, which is fine. I support you in using your head just to kick it off. But you won't find the truth there. And then you won't be able to live it. And then you go, this is really hard. So what do you do to place your attention on the truth? I mean, where are you placing your attention?
That's not our breath.
You put it on the breath? Okay.
To go into that process.
Yep. Okay, great. Yep.
Can I just share something?
Sure.
So a few months ago I was living down here in Sydney. We got kicked out of my house up in Brisbane, and I didn't know what I was going to do, and I was like, where am I going to move? What am I going to do? I came down here for a few months, and at the time I was like really trying to work out what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Where I'm at right now today, like in a house sitting in Brisbane, I don't know what I'm really doing in my time, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Like that's how I am today now.
Yeah.
And So before, it was like I felt this need to, I felt a need for certainty.
Yeah.
But now that certainty is obviously coming from within.
Yeah.
So I don't need that anymore. I
Yeah.
don't know where I want to go.
Yeah. Certainty comes from the uncertain. And that's all that happens. When you're living this, you're becoming certainty in the uncertain, because infinity is uncertain, because infinity means all things are possible. So how are you feeling about that right now?
I feel good about it.
Yeah.
I think that's why there's many things in life now that are in flight. So,
Yeah. Good.
and it's fulfilling. I feel like I don't feel uncertain. But people from the outside might look and go, what are you doing? You're a gypsy.
Yeah.
But I don't feel any uncertainty.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, get that.
For me, I relax, I relax and I just keep I'll actually relax right back and sort of see my body's appearance as well. So I'll almost try and, don't get it wrong, just one at a time, but really relax my awareness into the energy, even to the energy of my body.
Yeah.
And when I can do it,
Yeah.
I get an immense sense of relief, let's say,
Yeah.
from the charges.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just constant relaxing. The charge comes up and I just relax again.
Yeah.
Relax again.
Relaxation is vital, because it's when you're present, you're relaxed. So when you're relaxing yourself, you're allowing yourself to kind of physically fall into presence. You know, you're forcing yourself, not forcing, but you're relaxing into the present, if you like. Because if you relax the body, because the present moment is relaxed,
Yeah.
right? It's
But even
peaceful.
talking to someone and I'm getting a charge,
Yeah.
I'll stop the thought, pause the thought, and relax, and just go, relax, and then I'll do it again. I'll just do it a number of times if I'm in a situation where I feel charged.
Yeah.
That seems to work.
That- That's what meditation really is for most people. You know, a lot of times, if I ever did meditate, I would meditate because I'm just relaxing. And when I'm in that relaxed state, then my pondering starts. You see?
Yeah.
Awesome. So relaxation, yes, this is something you do on the physical level, you relax. All right? So when you relax, then it will be more supportive for you to be able to place your attention on the truth. But again, where's your attention going to? Which part of you? Like
Feelings.
your feelings?
Feelings.
Okay, so this is good. Where are your feelings?
Your body.
Okay, let's look at this. Okay, you're feeling the only reason you identify it with your body, because you're not your body, right? But you have those feelings, or your intuition. You go, I feel it. A lot of times you see me speak on stage and I say, I feel something, because that's the way I describe it. It's something that arises from inside of me. Okay, so you're feeling it. Now, your emotional reactions, also, you feel it in the body, all right? But the only reason you feel it in your body is, the feeling is infinite. So that means it's not just in your body, it's in all places. But you can't go, oh, I'm feeling it right about here. This is where I feel it. Because if you felt it here, you don't identify it as it being yours. So then you allow yourself to feel it in your body, and you go, I feel it here. But it's not a physical feeling. This is the point I'm getting to. This feeling comes from the formless part of you, from the infinite part of you. So you just associate it with going, I feel it here in my body. But you don't feel it like with your 5 human senses, do you? You don't feel it. Feeling, that's I can just touch my hand, that's feeling. I'm clapping my hands. It's not that type of feeling. Is it? No.
It's not knowing.
Yes, the feeling of it is a knowing. Yes, when you feel it, right? It's a knowing, but it's not a physical feeling. So if it's not a physical feeling, then what is it? Yes, it is an energy. But how do you feel this? And I'm using the word feeling right now because that's what you guys told me. Right? How do you feel energy? Where do you feel energy?
I get it.
Okay, so you get a
Just
again.
before, yeah, like, as something pops up, I get a feeling. It's not even a feeling, but
Mhm.
Vibration.
yeah. And that's like, and if I don't follow that, I always go, it's always that I go back to. It's like, I knew, not that I knew, but I
Mhm.
knew. It's weird, it's not a physical.
Yeah, it's not a physical feeling. No. Although sometimes it may even give you a physical feeling. I've been times where I've actually felt somebody grab my hand, and I was like, I was lying there. I was like, what? Like it was always like, wake up, and it felt like it was a physical feeling. It wasn't though, but it was very physical. I had someone in OMG. Was it in America? And that was in Melbourne. I can't remember what city it was. We'll talk. And he was saying, I don't even know if it was OMG. Maybe it was WTF. But anyway, he was saying that he was having a dream, and in this dream there was water dripping on top of him. He was staying at a friend's house, and the water was dripping, and the water dripping was so real that he actually fell off the bed and slept on the floor because he felt that all night there was water dripping, but he was just dreaming about it. Okay, but did he physically feel the water dripping? It's not a physical feeling thing, is it? It's a different part of you. And I talk about this all the time. You don't physically feel it. So see, this is why I'm getting you to really, because we say we feel it, okay, but it's not a physical feeling, so I want you to be able to really distinguish and, dissect this even more and go, well, where do we so-called feel it if it's not physical? Now, the only reason you feel it within the body, like I just said, is because you associate to be this body. And it'll be really weird if you go, I feel it here. This is where I feel it, right here. It's really weird. So that's why you bring it to feel here. Same goes as, I'm giving you clues here. Same goes as when you hear something. I remember just recently, a couple of months ago, I was lying down in Santa Monica. I was on my hotel bed, and I was just having an afternoon. I just flew in, so I just put my head down. And as I was putting my head down, I heard a voice. Okay, I heard. Who's ever heard an internal voice? Okay, and not just your thinking, the actual voice where you actually hear it. And it was in the voice of my mother. Now, it wasn't really my mother. It was me disguising myself to be. Thank you. You use your sixth sense to sense the truth. You don't feel it. Okay, although we describe it as we feel it, and that's fine, but I just want to dissect this and get really clear. You're sensing it. Just like I sensed the voice. Did I use my physical sense to hear it? No. Some people had visions. Did you use your physical human eyes? No. You sensed the vision and it projected into a vision. You're hot now, are you?
I find though that I tend to feel it in the gut somewhere, like a rising warm feeling, and it feels good as opposed to feeling bad when you're in your head, when you're thinking in your mind's, envy you, etc. Then you actually feel bad. You have bad things happening, but when you have a feeling, it's a good feeling, and I associate it with my body because I'm out of my head.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but it's
Yeah. But just understand.
yeah, it's not actually.
The reason why, it's just because that's the place where it's closest to your heart, all right? And that's where you can associate going, ooh, that's my heart, for example. But really, the feeling is coming from all places. Let me just address this. Do you want me to turn the temperature cooler? Is it gonna? Is anyone else warm? All right. Take your shirt off, man. It's be comfortable.
Bodily things happening.
Does that anything to do with your subconscious mind then?
Is it anything to do with your subconscious mind?
Or am I trying to make this one to
It's a good question because there's so many different associations with the subconscious mind. So,
So I was going to say subconscious mind, which is the sixth sense. Is that the same thing?
what's that?
I was going to say subconscious mind, but sixth sense cannot. Is it the same thing?
You know, sometimes some subconscious mind, for some, it depends what you're referring to. Some people, for subconscious mind, it's pre-programmed mind. The unconscious mind, or sometimes they refer to the superconscious mind, is, if you like, the sixth sense. If you're looking for another reference. But when some people say subconscious, that means, for some people use it for different references. Subconscious is, it's pre-programmed.
The blueprint or the
Yeah, it's like part of your beliefs and conditionings, and then that's subconscious. It's part of your habits.
I think I mean the unconscious.
Okay, because this is nothing to do with habits and pre-programmed and your beliefs. No, this is way deeper,
Yeah.
and it's maybe the superconscious I've heard before, or the unconscious. Okay, but when I say unconscious, I'm not talking about the unaware. So that's why I never use those words, because they're all heady descriptions anyway. So I don't even go there. What word do I use? Sixth sense, yeah. I forget for a second.
So when you feel energy moving through you,
Yeah.
like really fine, and that can be other people's energy, like you use it as you use the body to feel what someone else is doing. So
Yeah.
I've been working on medical intuition. So it like becomes their body. My body starts surrogating to their body,
Mm-hmm.
and I can feel
Yeah.
where their pain is, or that my body is really a representation of theirs
Yeah.
in that moment.
That's a good example. Because you're feeling their emotions or their physical responses in your physical body. That's a perfect example. A person who's an intuitive is exactly the same. You know, I might be an intuitive and I might place my attention on you, but I'm getting images or getting feelings of what I see in you, okay, within myself. Now, if those things that I'm getting in you are charged, like I have a reaction, then it's my own reflection. So you're actually playing a role in reflecting my own charges. If I just feel your charges, but there's no response in there's no story wrapped up in mine, or there's no reaction, like in other words, I feel it, but there's an awareness of what I feel, and I'm not in the story, then I'm picking it up for you. Okay, but again, I'm just playing the role. I created you to play that role for me, because at the end of the day, it's all one. Does that make sense? Yeah, but that's another good example. A medical intuitive, or a person who's intuitive, they sense what's going on and they might not have been in front of each other. You know, they might be over flying. They might not even be talking to each other. You just sense something. Sometimes my mother sensed something. She gives me a call. Da-da-da, is this going on? Da-da-da. I'm like, how'd you know that was going on? She goes, you still don't know me. So yeah, perfect example. Okay, because the truth is, what you're sensing is not in the body, but you bring it into your body to feel in your body because you associate it with the body. You see what I'm saying? Your sensation is like a wave of an entire ocean. The wave is through the entire ocean, or it's part of the entire ocean. It's just one wave. So that's the first thing that we've peeled back to, is that, okay, it's something you sense. You know, when you place your attention on the truth, you are sensing the truth. So when I say place your attention on the truth, the normal human physical indication is to go into your head and go, well, the truth is, this story isn't real. This story, can you see what I'm saying? You're intellectualizing it, which I will support you to do that. That's fine. Because that's how, at first, you go, well, the story's not real. But that's like doing an affirmation. or fake it till you make it. Until you say the story, but then you actually sense the truth about that, which means you're having a direct experience of that truth. It's not just an intellectual thing. Once you sense the truth of what you've verbalized or what you've started to explore in your head, that's when you're reclaiming the power. So for me, yeah, there'll be lots of times I'll go, well, that's not true. That story's not real. Or, I would place my attention on the truth, and I will actually go to my head and start saying something, but at the same time, I'm sensing. I don't know how else to teach you this, but you're sensing. But I can give you one example, which we do at the WTF program, and which we could do right now, all right, about sensing. Because right now you're probably thinking, well, how do I sense, right? You remember in the WTF? Well, we'll do it right now. Everyone, open your hands. Place your attention in the fingertips. Place your attention in the palm of your hands. And sense the energy. Who can sense it? Just simply, all you did was place your attention. Did you physically go there? And the sensations that you're feeling in the palm of your hands, or place your attention in the soles of your feet, and you're sensing it. You're sensing energy in the palm of your hands. You're sensing energy in the soles of your feet. Now, are you physically feeling those sensations? No. You're sensing just the energy. There's a sensation, there's a tingling there. It's not a physical tingling, although it's such a fine line, because it's very easy to go, oh, that's a physical tingling. But it's not. It's a sensation. But that's not the point. The point is, how did you sense it? Because, and the other point is, has that sensation always been there? Yeah, but you were just not there. You were not, your attention was not there. So how did you place your attention in the palm of your hands? That's how you place your attention on your sixth sense. The moment you go to your sixth sense, the moment you place your attention there and go, what's the truth will move you. You will feel it move you. When you want to use your intuition, guess where you go? When someone's charged, guess where they go where they try to use their intuition? And then they go, I got nothing, or I got something, and they're confused for their intuition. And it's an emotional reaction. I talk about this in the Intuitive Warrior. It's not really their intuition, it's an emotional reaction. It's a reaction to the thinking they're doing. It's a reaction to their current circumstances. You go to your sixth sense, your intuition is already there. Okay? Or the truth is there. You're using your intuition to realize what the truth is. You just place your attention there with a question, and this is what I'll come to you in a second. This is what I'm saying to you guys right now. I'm saying to you, don't think about what I say, sense it. You're feeling it. You're sensing it from the place. And it's a simple process. Once you get it, you'll get it. Okay, it's very difficult to put into words. But I just gave you a physical example. You just place your attention in the palm of your hands and you can sense energy. How did you place your attention there? That's a sensation. That's your sixth sense. That's a part of your body that is easy, the feet and the hands, and that's why I use it. It's easy to place your attention there and sense the energy and sense the vibrations and sense the sensations. But how did you place your attention there? Did you have to look at it? You see, it's not a physical thing. This is something you've got to practice in your own time to really grasp what I'm saying. If you really knew what placing your attention on the truth is, you'll do it, and it's very powerful. You are free in the moment. As long as there's no charge, there's no judgment. Okay?
I was just wondering about people who work like energy healers and Reiki and martial artists. You're talking about I can sense energy in my hand.
Yeah.
But how is that different from actually putting energy in my hand? Like a martial artist who's going to break a stone or something like that.
Putting the energy is always in your hand.
So that's just got a laser focus.
They just place their attention on energy that's there. I mean, you don't create energy. The energy is already there. You just become aware of it. We don't create energy.
With Reiki, it's just about opening yourself up to channel the energy through yourself, through your hands. So you're simply just opening a channel. You're not creating it.
Awesome. That's a very good point. See, I didn't know about the Reiki, but that to me that resonates. If someone was Reiki and they say, I create energy, I know that's just the drop talking. Because everything is already created. You're just deciding to use it.
Martial arts sense energy big to be able to use it.
It's taking movement to the
Yeah,
heart.
yeah.
You know, when we do the meditation, the oneness meditation in the WTF, where we begin to become aware of placing our attention in the palm of your hands, and then you start to go outwards, and you go place your attention on the energy in the room, then we go place your attention in the sky, we go into the atmosphere, we go deep into space, we go deep into the galaxy, we go deep into the universe, and you're sensing that expansive energy. How are you doing that? See, you already know how to do it. And everyone in the WTF just goes, oh my God, I just felt this huge love and expansive. They felt it, and they go, I felt it. But really, we just sensed it. We just sensed it. And you went outwards and outwards and outwards. And it's not a thinking. If you were in your head trying to go outwards, then someone struggles. Okay, they're trying to do it in their head. So it's not a head thing. You're simply placing your attention there. Simply placing your attention there. You can place your attention, if you have no charge, place your attention on another person, and you can actually be one with them. This is where people start going, oh, I do astro travel. This is a different conversation. I'll save it for another time and won't get woo-woo right now. Okay, but this is, all you're doing is connecting to another, which is yourself. And you're showing up in another. And then the other goes, oh, I feel them. You don't have to be dead to do that, physically dead. This goes really deep. I'm just touching on the surface of it right now. Although OMG is a lot more deeper than, of course, the other stuff. But what I'm saying to you, we're having a deep conversation, but it actually goes a lot deeper. Like when you really grasp this, you're really not tied down to this physical being anymore. You guys think I fly planes to go to America. I'm joking.
That's not far off.
So you can see it's very difficult to actually go, well, this is how you place your attention on the truth. Because the moment I say place the attention on the truth, people go, what's the truth? Up here. You can start it and go, well, the truth is this, and that's what you might do with it. Or you can just sense. Simply by placing your attention onto your sixth sense and going, what's the truth? Ask the question. See, I ask you guys a question, and I say, ask yourself the question, let the answer arise from within you. Because I'm taking you away from your head. Because I say, if I ask you the question, everyone automatically goes to the head, and you know when everyone's in the head because everyone's screaming out an answer. And then someone usually, once everyone starts screaming out, they say the answer. Quietly. A voice that doesn't need to be heard is usually the one that speaks, who's got the answer. So it's the same process. I say, ask yourself the question, but don't look for the answer. Which is the part of you that's looking for the answer? Just ask the question. Use the head to ask the question. Use the senses to sense the answer. And not necessarily the physical senses, the sixth sense. This is how you place your attention on the truth. You're doing it all the time. You did it in the meditation. Go and get that meditation on CD if you don't have it. Or go and do the meditation if you remember how we did it.
That's the one where the unpacking the room.
Yeah, you place your attention and you keep going outwards and outwards and out and out. And the whole point of that is you're placing your attention on more of who you are. And you're sensing it. You can feel the power. You can feel the expansiveness. You don't know how you feel it. That's how you place your attention on the truth. And the moment you place your attention on the truth, you're free. You have reclaimed the power. It takes maybe a little bit. So this whole process of waking up, of reconnecting with yourself, or bringing yourself back home, becoming conscious, whatever you want to call it, is first, it is to dissolve the charge. It is to neutralize the charge. How do you dissolve the charge? By being one with it. How do you be one with it? Well, first, you approach it by giving it space. So what does a giving space mean? It means you allow it to be. Because if most people want to become one with it, they go, I need to become one with it so I can dissolve this charge. No. You allow the charge to be, which means you're sitting in the charge, you're not sitting in the resistance of the charge. You allow the charge to be. Allow it to be. Once you allow it to be, the charge is neutralized. You no longer feel the need to get rid of it. Then, when the charge is neutralized, you place your attention on the truth. And then once you've reclaimed the power, that subject, that energy, that whatever you put your energy into, whether it's a person, whether it's a disease, whether it's a circumstance, whatever you put your power into no longer has power over you. You've become completely whole with it. You can now tell the disease it's time to move on. But the thing is, I promise you, you won't feel the need to get rid of the disease at that point. But you can. The power is you. There's no power outside of you. You then choose to change the form of the disease. You then choose to change the form of your financial circumstances. But there's no need to. Because you're no longer in judgment of it. The need to change your circumstances has nothing to do with your circumstances, your financial circumstances. It has to do with how you choose to judge it, how you choose to label it. It has nothing to do with it. This is why you go to countries and they're poor, but they're happy. And you go in countries where they're wealthy and they're sad. It has nothing to do with it. And when you realize that, you're like, well, maybe I want to stay like this for a little bit. Or maybe I'll change it. But that's when you have choice. Free will is when you will something that is not charged. If it's charged, if you're trying to change something because it has a positive or negative charge associated to it, that's not free will. That's influence, and it's influenced by the charge you've given it. Influenced by good or bad. That's not free will. Free will is when the charge is neutralized and then it is chosen. You choose. And remember, an infinite being doesn't choose. A finite being, a physical being, the way it chooses is through duality. So they go, is this better or is this worse? Is this right or is this wrong? You see, it's making a choice through duality. That part of you that's infinite doesn't go, should I do this, should I not? It is chosen. This is why you notice when you're in the zone, you're in the flow, you decide to do something, but there was no internal dialogue inside of your head going, should I do this, should I not? You just did it. And then someone goes, how did you do it? You're like, I don't know. I just did it. Because the part of you that chooses, should I do it, should I not do it, wasn't there. It was absent. You became one with that part of you. By the way, furthermore to this, your ego is never a part of you that you beat. Because who's the ego? It's you as the one energy coming up in the form of being your ego to support you in the physical separate experience. You don't get rid of your ego, you become one with it. You bring the ego back home. The ego only exists because you perceive to be separate. Feel everything I'm saying to you. Even after I've said it to you, keep sensing it. On your ride, plane home, sense all this. On your drive home, sense it. Don't just go straight into your everyday life. I watched a lot of you during the lunch break get onto the phones and computers and Facebook. I don't know. That's cool. Do whatever you want, but just give this space. Give this space. Giving something space is giving it energy. Remember, space is energy. Space is power. All you got to do is give it space. You know, when we do the meditations in the OMG, people think it's me. And at the end they go, oh, it's so powerful. It has nothing to do. I make that up. There is no meditation. I just make something up. You know why I make something up? Because if I said, okay, guys, we just want to give space to everything we spoke about yesterday, everyone would be like, what? And they'll start thinking. So then I say, I'm going to take you through a guided meditation. I make that up. There is no guided meditation. I make it up as I go along. Even the CD, just made up. Why? Because then people stop and give space. And the reason why people have such a phenomenal experience on that Sunday is because of all the fuel that I gave them on the Saturday. Everything's been fueled on the Saturday. They're like feeling all this stuff, feeling it's like snap, crackle, pop. You know, they're like up to here, like, oh, they feel all this energy. And then what we do on the Sunday is so like we let the energy out. And how do we do that? By just creating an hour where we're just going to give space to this energy. Now, I can't say to them, and at the beginning I didn't even know I was doing this. I only recently realized what was happening. Because every time I would take them to the guided meditation, everyone would go, oh, it was so amazing. And I was like, why? I mean, like, I didn't really do it. I mean, I just make the whole thing up. There's no process. But I realized it's just, we're giving space to what we just spoke about on the Saturday. So on the Sunday, we come, the first thing in the morning, we do this meditation. Everyone's like, whoa. It's like you let a bit of air out, all this stuff, just so all they're doing is giving space to it. The love process. When we do the love process at the end of the second day, in that one, I intentionally don't get involved as much. I don't want to do it as a guided meditation because they're still thinking it's me. It's because of me that they experience that. It's not. So on the Sunday, when we do the love process, again, they're giving space to some of their emotions. They're giving space to some of their charges. And everyone has a different experience. And I say to the people, did you see? I didn't say anything. You guys took that yourself. There's no process. But we continuously want to give power to a Miyazoki or the process. Or it was a WTF program. No, it's not the WTF program. You created the WTF program. You're speaking through me. There's no Miyazoki. You know the amount of times my mum goes, I'm not your mum. When are you going to get it? That's very hard for a child growing up, going, but where's my mummy? No, I'm just joking. But she did many times. Because I would go and give credit to it. Mum, thank you for so much for teaching me all this stuff. You know, without you, I would never. And she's like, you don't get it. I'm not your mum. You knew this stuff. You created this me to speak through me. But you see the credit. Oh, this is good. It makes me feel good. Then I got to go give credit. It's because of the meditation you took us through, me. A great meditation. It was great. All you did was give something space. So please understand. Don't just come to these OMGs. Give it space. That's what pondering is. You're just giving it space, and you're just having these. I do this all the time because I used to do it all the time sitting on the beach, but hardly getting any beach. Although most of you think I'm really brown, but this is white for me. But my pondering happens now at 36,000 feet in the plane. Got great movies in business class. I don't switch it on because that's the time I put some music and just let myself be moved by the music and just feel and ponder. Or silence. Sit in silence. When you play music, and that's why I sometimes play music in the meditations. When you play music and you feel something moving inside of you that makes you want to dance, what do you think that feeling is? Again, you're not feeling it, you're sensing it. And you make your body move. What do you think that is? That's you, the one. And intuition is described because the truth is there's no intuition or ego, but you design the intuition and the ego. But the intuition is the voice of the one, or the feeling or the expression of it. Think about it. Play some music and just feel. Sometimes you're doing. The other day I was in Melbourne, and of course only in Melbourne at 9 o'clock in the morning they have a band at a cafe. So it was awesome. There's such creative people there. So I'm in the morning at 8:30 at 9 o'clock having breakfast at this coffee shop in Melbourne, and they had a whole band, the whole gig, and they were playing music. And it was really awesome. It was a great experience. But I was with Sadie. I said, watch everyone's head. They're all in rhythm. Everyone's standing there, and at the same time, they're like, I was like, can you see how everyone, it's the same feeling inside all of them. It wasn't heads going, or, you know, all the heads at the same time. Boom, boom. I was like, see that? That's one feeling, one wave going through them all. Boom, boom. That's the one. It's in your everyday life. Why do you think you love music? That's the only reason I play some music for the meditation. Otherwise, it's most supportive to do in silence. Because you feel, you're feeling. It's taking away from the thinking.
Music disappears when you go into the deep meditation anyway.
Absolutely.
Don't know.
So does the meditation. That's when you know when you're meditating, when you actually don't know you're meditating anymore.
Yeah.
It disappears.
Music disappears. Completely.
Just keep giving you references. I can't teach you exactly how to place your attention on the truth. But I'm just giving you as many references. And guess what? You're right now sensing what I'm saying. You're sensing it. If you weren't sensing, you would be falling asleep. It'd be boring. You're sensing it. Who's sensing it? See? Where are you sensing what I'm saying to you right now? Yeah, over here. It's just a sensation. And it's funny because there'll be so many times where I would sit in front of my mum and my mum would speak and I'll go to my senses and I'll just and she'd be talking about something completely different, but I sense something else. Like it's just like that snap, crackle, pop happens, but it's something about something completely different. So let me just come back to you guys now and just get a sense of where you're at. This is a moment where you can express whatever you feel, just so I can feel where you're at, and then I can give you any supportive things as well. So who wants to express what they're feeling? Yes.
Just trying to discern between sensing the sixth sense and going back into thinking or patterns or habits, and so just trying to discern between the two.
Okay.
And yet I know, when you're asking the questions before, how do you know you're giving away your power? And the thought came to me, labels.
Yes.
I just knew that was right. In fact, I nearly didn't even say it because I already know. I don't even need to say it.
Yeah.
But to consciously try and connect with that sense, I find it difficult. At this point, I understand what you're saying. You've got to keep going there. You strengthen that connection.
Yeah. It is a practice. Yeah. The main point is that you sense. You sense it. Your senses are alive. They're working. You know how to go there. But there is no, when you go there is no how. That's why it's very difficult for me to go, well, this is what you do. I mean, even in the WTF, I don't even bother telling people how to place attention on the truth. Because that's just a bit different. I mean, it's a whole day conversation. Look, we've had a whole day conversation on how you actually place your attention on the truth. And there's no how. And we still haven't got to a how. There's no how. It's just something you just got to work out for yourself. That's why people say, I can only show you the door, you have to walk through it. But you, sitting here, you've been sensing how. But if you try to talk about that and say to someone how, you can't. And whatever you say, and then people will create tools and techniques and go, this is how. It's not. And then people put power in the tool and the technique and go, because of this tool and technique, I get to connect. No, you get to connect because that's who you are. It's got nothing to do with the tool and technique. Yeah? Excellent. Anyone else?
So if you identify what it is that you try to control, and then you realise it's the thing that controls you, and you want to go to the truth of it, without going in your head to try and answer, why do I let this happen? Do I just keep saying, well, what's the truth, and just sit?
Well, the first thing is to dissolve the charge, is to neutralize the charge. In other words, so the electric fence has got no charge, so you can hold on to the electric fence. Okay, that's the first thing. We said you do that by giving it space.
Yeah.
So giving it space means you're not trying to dissolve the charge.
Right.
You're allowing the charge to be.
So seeing it as it is and
Just being with the charge.
being the feeling.
Okay?
Yeah.
You'll get to a point where you no longer, when you're allowing something to be, you'll forget why you even had the charge. When you're starting to blend or mend into that charge, you'll forget what was causing the charge. Because usually in the story, there's something that happens in the story. You think something happened in the story to cause you to feel that way. So you'll forget why because in other words, you'll forget that you're actually angry.
Yeah.
You'll forget what the charge was. You'll forget what was causing the charge. You'll no longer be identifying this is anger, this is guilt, this is where I feel it. Like it just you start to become it.
Right.
Okay? And in that moment, you have free will. Then you place your attention and go, what's the truth? But in that moment, you no longer feel to get rid of the charge. You see, because you've become the charge, so there's no more charge. There is an awareness. You're still feeling the charge, but you're no longer identifying and saying, I am feeling this because of this story, or I am feeling this, or what I'm feeling is labeled as anger.
Yeah.
It's just like the meditation you spoke about before. You know, you're meditating, you forget. Yeah. You don't hear anything else. So you just become completely one with that charge. In that moment, you're neutralized. Okay, but to be able to reclaim your power, okay, so then that charge can no longer come up anymore. It will no longer come up anymore.
What if you've been doing it for years and
Doing
years,
what?
Just letting that charge be there constantly. You give it space and you think okay, it's gone away, and then it's just all of a sudden it'll come back. So you obviously hasn't.
You got to place your the placing your attention on the truth is what reclaims it. Just first of all, you got to be clear that you're not sitting with the resistance of the charge, which means you're sitting with it, you're feeling the charge, but you want it to change.
Right.
Okay, that's number one. Number two is that just because you've started to blend with the charge and you've neutralized the charge, doesn't mean you've got rid of it or freed yourself or reclaimed your power.
Because the minute I think I've got rid of the charge, the next day it comes up again.
Okay, it means you still have power in it. So the placing the attention on the truth is the most vital. In fact, you don't need to give space or anything. The whole idea is you just place your attention on the truth. But I've noticed within myself and other people can't just place their attention on the truth because the charge is in the way. So the only reason I get people to become one with the charge is because once you've neutralized the charge, you can place your attention. Right now, I have less charges, a lot less charges. So I continuously place my attention on truth. And even if I do have charges, it's a fine electric fence, like a spider web. You see, I still have those kind of charges. You know, like, you know, maybe someone pulled in front of me in a car or something, and there's this fine line of, you know, like a spider web, and you just go like this. You see, when the electric fence is thick, it's really powered.
Is that what we do to stop ourselves from saying what the truth is? Because at the moment I can't see what the truth is.
The moment you as the truth put your power into, you made charges.
Yeah.
Okay, because you needed to put your power into two. So then you made, for example, a positive charge and a negative charge. And then those positive and negative charges continue to branch out, and you continue to label all these different things as positive, as negative, as good, as bad, as right, as wrong. Can you see? You continuously label it, and you're growing your identity through those. Which part of you is growing its identity through those? The part of itself that doesn't know itself, the ego. The part of you that doesn't exist, because the only part of you that's looking to build its existence through that is the non-existence part. Because if you existed, then you don't need to build your existence or your identities through that. Can you see? It's a brilliant creation. It's brilliant. Like, you really know you're an infinite being. You're like, wow, look at it's just perfection. Just like.
When you do it for so long.
For me, just going back onto the scene, you said sometimes you think you're sitting with the charge. Like I do that a lot. Like I'll have charge, you know, I'll just this, that I'm actually still wanting it to go away. Like I still do that a lot.
Yeah.
So even that bit I find, and then I'll go, okay. Then sometimes go, okay, I can't. Oh, I want it to go away. I have to sit with the fact that I want it to go away. Do you know what I mean? Like there's almost like, all right, well I want it to go away. There's the fact that I want it to go away. So then I go back one step from that almost, and then finally, usually I'll get this splinter of, and I call it relief because to me it feels very relieving. A splinter of light, if you like, and go, oh yeah, okay, and then from then I go. But even that first bit of, because I'll say to other people, my sister gets, and I'll say, I'll sit with her, she goes, I ain't listening, you know, but you're sort of sitting with this painful babe sort of thing, you know.
Yeah. You know what the great thing about you is?
Sorry?
You know what the great thing about you is? Is that there's no bullshit, right? So people know that about you. I mean, for those who know Marianne, there's no bullshit, you know. She's from the Melbourne OMG. But there's just no bullshit. You just say it, you know, you talk it, you piss people off because you just say what you think and all that kind of stuff. But the great thing about that is that there's no bullshit with yourself either. So you can't bullshit yourself. Because a lot of people are very good at bullshitting themselves. So then you're like, that's a very good point you just said. You just went, well, I do want it to go away. You know, some people were like, no, I don't want it to go away. You know, and they try to be spiritual. You're just like, no, fuck this, I do want to go, yeah. And that's really cool, you know, and just do what you do externally with everyone, you know, just have that no bullshit attitude and just go, yeah, well, no, I do want it to go away. And that's perfect, just sit with it, but you're not taking a step backwards. That's a step forward. Most people are taking a step backwards because they're like, no, I don't want it to go away. I've got to the point, and they just tell them, so it's a lie. They just build another lie, and they put power into that lie. So you're in a good spot. It's okay.
Yeah.
No bullshit.
No bullshit.
So my point is you're not taking a step back. It's actually a step forward going, no, I do want it to go away. You're telling the truth about that. I do want it to go away. And then just...
You'd be like, I just want to... you know, you'd be like, I just want it to stay. Or, you know, even that, oh my gosh. And then finally, remember the retreat? And I came to you that night and I was upset.
Yes.
I was very upset just for people when I was going to leave. And that night I went and lied in bed and I was so, you know, I was having really negative stuff and I finally just went, I can't control this. It's not mine almost, and I just almost had this sense that it was just not me even creating and it was just, and I think the next day I didn't go to the church because I just wanted to sit with that feeling of, oh, it's not even me creating, it's not even this me creating it.
Yeah.
But I had to get to such a point of suffering that night to really just go, oh, you know.
Yeah.
So sometimes it takes you to that point where you're just so suffering and it's like, oh, I can't do it. Take it over sort of thing and you give it away or surrender to it, you know. That's really
I get what you're saying. I remember when I was first on my journey, not when I was first, but I was falling deep into the journey. I mean, I'd created all these financial problems, and I was just stressing about it, and I'm like, I got to deal with this, and then at the end when I went, fuck it. I said, you know what? I was talking to myself, my expanded self, me as the one. I was like, you created the problem, you fix it. You know, I'm just gonna. And it wasn't out of denial. It was like, I was like, obviously, you know, me as the one created his problems, supposedly problems, and you know, it's because that's most supportive, right? All right, well, I'm going to experience the supportiveness in it, but you know, the solution, it's got to come itself as well. You created the problem, you fix it. You know, it's like your hands.
Yeah, and that's what I did that night. It's like, oh, I can't. It's just you created this. You want this to happen, so whatever.
Yeah.
And in that moment of doing that, it was all still there, but there was a space around it. So, yeah.
And that's not denial. When you do that to the physical, that's denial. Well, you created the problem, James. Your problem. You know what? You know when you you know, this money's not real anyway. It's not, you know, and you just go spend. Well, this food's not. That's denial is when you're doing that to the physical, but you were doing that to the non-physical part of you, going, well, this is supportive for whatever reason. You created it. Well, you know, you find the solution. Obviously, you know, you're an infinite being. Can you see what I'm saying? So there was a point that I did get to like that as well. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done to continuously chasing the solution. Because I would always strategize, and well, if I pay for this, or even in business, I would strategize. If people do this, and we do this, and we do, and we have this marketing. It was all this strategy, and then I'll be thinking, oh, all these awesome ideas are coming to me. But it was my strategy that was sourcing those ideas. Then I stopped sourcing the ideas, and they would just come, and when they come, it was no longer ideas. It was just like, this is what I feel to do.
When you get to the fuck it moment.
You got to get to the real fuck it moment. I mean, look, I don't know. That's what I experienced anyway. I don't think that's part of the path. I don't think you have to get to that fuck it moment. I don't know, but there's a
Some things you might.
maybe. I think it's different for everyone. So there is no right or wrong. Don't go, oh, wow, I've got to get to the fuck it moment. Then you're putting. That's what I was trying to avoid there. Where you're going, well, you put power into, I got to get to the fuck it moment, and then you ring someone, hey, did I just get to the fuck it moment?
That works for me anyway.
New program, FIN.
What is it? FIN?
New program, FIN.
There is actually a retreat called the Fuck It Retreat. It's a book.
I did last Saturday. I did a. Was it last Saturday? No, that's the Saturday before that. I did the WTF in LA, and I was talking to the LA people, and generally speaking, in my creation, there's a lot of people in LA who are a little bit flaky, and I know some of them are watching this, and that's all good. But they can be a little bit flaky. When I say flaky, it's woo-woo, and all the LA people will know that. There's a lot of flakiness. I just went at home with them. I just started telling the LA people. I just said, look, I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of people in this city who are just full of shit, and I was just telling them, because they were just saying, I want this, and I was like, no, you don't want it. You're full of shit, and I just burst out into the whole audience saying, you guys are just full of shit. If I did a seminar called "You Are Full of Shit," you guys would all attend. And when I was talking about full of shit, because people would say, this is what I want, but it's not. It's not what they wanted, because the truth is what you want, you've already got. Okay? But the thing is, people were saying, this is what I want, and for example, a girl was saying to me, I want to be an actress. And I was like, I don't think you do. And she goes, yeah, I do. I said, well, I'm not picking up that you do want to become an actress. And she's like, well, I want to be an actress, and everyone in LA wants to be an actress or an actor or something, but generally speaking. And I said to her, and this is what I felt, because I go on the feeling. I don't listen to what they say. I listen to the space the feeling's coming from. In other words, I feel, I don't feel you want to be an actress. And she was like, I said, let me save you the trouble. You don't want to be an actress. And she goes, yeah, I do. And I said, maybe you just want a job that's you think you would like to do. Maybe you just think, well, I need to work for a living. I need to get a job, so I might as well be an actress. That seems fun. And she just went, yeah, that's true. I said, it's someone who wants to be an actress. It's their art. It's what they came here to do. And whether there's no giving up. They will continue and continue and continue, because and that continuing, it's just building someone up. It's just giving them fuel. It's just giving them the creativity to then be who they wanted to be. So I say, you just want to be an actress because you think, well, I have to get a job. You don't want to get a job, so you think, well, being an actress is kind of fun. Can you see what I'm saying? It's not true for you. It's agenda driven. Well, I've got to get a job. So why don't I be an actress? And she was like, yeah. And I said, see, you're full of shit. So that's the reference point I was giving them. So they kind of like that. The full of shit seminar. But it's true. A lot of people, for example, there's a lot of people who in my story, there's people who come into this path because nothing else is working. Life's not working. Everything's falling apart, when I say nothing's working, they may be really rich, but nothing's working, inside. Or they may be poor and nothing's working. But it's really interesting because you notice they come onto this path and they go, Dad, I really want to find the truth. This is it. This is what I feel. This is what. And then like a week later or 3 months later, something in their storyline starts to work. Gone. Do you know how people join OMG and they haven't attended one session yet? There's a couple.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they join OMG and they're like, and they're just something. You know, they found someone, they fell in love, or so, you know, something clicked in the story, and then they're like, oh no, well that stuff. Oh, I'll do it later. I was like, well, yeah, sure. You know. Oh God, can I get my money back? No. That's a favourite one. You know, because things start to work and things start to click, and they're like, oh yeah, I've got this now. Can I get my money? Or I love a good one is, you know, no, I won't go into it. Because I'm telling other people's story. They're going to watch this one. They go, that was my story. But that's why I say if everyone's full of shit, you know, because, and I say that because I was the one who was full of shit. I see people shit because I was the one full of shit. You know, that I needed to be full of shit so I can see other people's shit. And when I say I was full of shit, when I first came into this, I was like, I just wanted to get this, because then if I can get this, I can fix, improve, or change my life, and I can have all my goals and have all. And then I just got to, and then slowly this path just shredded me, like a mozzarella thing. You know, you're shredding the. You know, it's just every agenda just starts peeling away. All the bullshit. Just slowly, the path will just do that itself. And it's amazing. And then you're just like, wow, I was really full of shit. I probably, you know, maybe 12 years from, or 12 months from now, I might look back at this point and go, wow, I was still full of shit. I don't know. You just keep dropping deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and it becomes more pure and more pure and pure. And this is why, you know, I have this conversation with you guys. This is why I want you, this is a joint pondering session. You're pondering right now. You're just pondering. You're just giving space to this. So then you see some of your shit, you see some of the truth, and you go back into your month now, and all this stuff that we've spoken about shows itself. You're like, oh yeah, oh yep. And just catch yourself, just watch yourself. Anyone else?
Bueller.
Hey?
Bueller.
Okay.
What was the question again?
The question is, is there any other questions, or does anyone want to feel to express anything about today, or?
Was that the original question about how do you reclaim empowerment?
The original question is how you reclaim power. We got to the point of realizing you reclaim your power by placing your attention on the truth. Place your attention. Then we said, well, how do you place your attention on the truth? Because if you don't understand what placing your attention on the truth is, you'd not most probably go to your head, which is fine. But as long as you go to your head and you go, well, the truth is this, and you're verbalizing something and you're doing it in your head, as long as you're sensing for the truth as well. Because we said that placing your attention on the truth, you sense it. Just like your intuition, you sense it. And we distinguish that there's a difference between a sensation and a physical feeling. There's a difference. And again, these are things that you've got to now continue pondering, continue giving space about. You know, right now, all you've received today is fuel. Go and give space to the fuel, and just continue to have pondering sessions. Between now and the next time I see you, which would be good, it'll be February. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you guys a couple of webinars that will support you, like 1 hour webinars that I've done that are related to similar conversations. And you can just download these, put on your iPod or listen to it on your laptop. You'll find it's supportive. So I'm gonna send that to you guys. That's at no charge.
Are they just listening, or they're
listening.
Oh.
Yeah. So you'll get that over the Christmas break, and it's until we catch up again, which would be in February. And please remember, the homework is to try to not put power into things, but just to become aware the moment you are putting power into something. Look at that, putting power into something. Okay, and then of course the reclaiming power, that's something you've got to sit with and practice and practice. It's just placing your attention on the truth. one of the great ways of doing that is the first thing in the morning when you wake up, is just go, take a deep breath and just remember what's the truth. Just the moment you're opening your eyes, just the moment you can catch yourself, you can notice there's this, the moment you open your eyes, you can see and feel yourself coming into the body. Where were you? I don't know. Those are things that you got to sense and ponder. You can feel, like go, as before any thought comes into your head. I'm in LA, or I'm in, sometimes I forget where I'm in. I'm looking at, yep, I'm in Melbourne today. But before any thought comes in your head, just catch yourself and go, who am I? Practice in placing your attention on the truth from the moment that you open your eyes. And being a Christmas, New Year period, I have a suggestion that I've been giving all the OMG people to practice as well on top of that, and that is the 3 things that I talk about when someone has had a near-death experience. They only want to do what they love to do. They only want to spend their time with who they truly love, or spend more of their time with who they truly love, and they want to live for this present moment. So that's something that I would ask you to look at doing over the Christmas time, over the New Year's time, is practice spending time with who you truly want to, not out of obligation. Who do you truly want to spend time with? Who do you love to? Okay, that's number 1. And what do you truly want to do? Not out of obligation. What do you feel true for you to do? And true, when I say what's true for you to do, people think it's their career. It's not necessarily their career. It's not necessarily work. Because everyone's thinking, well, I've got to work. What do I love to do for work? What do you love to do first thing in the morning? What do you love to do last thing at night? Can you see what I'm saying? Do you love to ride a bicycle? Do you love to start with a cup of tea? But what do you love? And just start doing these little things. And you can go back to your need life if you wanted to, if you choose to afterwards. But just during the time that you're actually breaking. Is everyone getting a break? Maybe it's a 5-day break, a 4-day, just doing those times. Spend time with the people you truly love. Do the things you truly love. Not out of obligation. Take obligation away. And live for this moment. In those 4 or 5 days, or 3 weeks, or however long it is, live for the moment. Did you neutralize the charge about the heat? Because it just cooled down. And no one changed it either. It just cooled down. Can you guys feel that?
Yeah.
It's just really cooling down suddenly. So they're the three things throughout the break. But again, just remember the homework as well. Practice placing attention on the truth. Practice becoming aware of the moment you're giving your power away from truth. And just observe. It's very simple. Very simple. Just remember that these days are powerful, but what's more powerful is what you do every day between the OMG days. It's the practice. These days give you fuel, and you go ponder on it, and you have deeper experiences, but it's what you do afterwards. It's what you do in the time between these OMG days. Do you know how many times I had someone come to a WTF program and they go, oh wow, that reclaiming power was really awesome. I reclaimed power, or the love process was really awesome. And I said, oh wow, okay, cool. And they go, how many times have you done that? And they go, this is my 3rd time. I say, how many times have you done WTF? This is my 3rd time. It's like, you don't have to be at WTF to reclaim power. You don't have to be at WTF to do the love process. See, that's why I say people are full of shit. Because at the beginning, we all start being full of shit. But then we start to do what's more true for us. And again, full of shit means you're living out of obligation. You're living out an agenda. You're doing all the things that you should be, could be, would be, rather than what you love to be, rather than what feels true. That's, everyone's looking for freedom, and that's when you will feel free. But then they have all these rules, all these powers that you put in. Well, I can't do that. This is, I have to go see my grandmother, but it doesn't feel true for me to go to my grandmother. Can you see what I'm saying? But I have to do this, and I can't be present right now. I've got to be thinking about, tomorrow and whatever. Who's ever gone on a holiday and then you notice that everything's in the flow before? You go on a holiday, vacation, and everything seems to be in the flow. Why? Because you stop planning. You start living in the moment. You start doing what's true for you. You start doing what you love to do. Well, most people's holiday. Some people go to holiday and they start planning everything. Well, we've got to get up at 9 o'clock. We've got to do this. We've got to do this at 10 o'clock. And you start doing things out of obligation. But generally speaking, when people take a vacation, they go on holidays, they start to experience this flow and everything's just happening. And they think it's the holiday. No, because you stop getting out of your day-to-day routine. You start doing what's true for you. You start living in the moment. You start living unplanned. As BMW says, their logo says joy is unplanned.
Sorry, just
yeah.
one thing on that. I know that you use the term like it's true for you with families, obviously. There can be a lot of charge around families. And so what's true, I guess I'm wanting you to sort of delineate, because I know I could say, well, I hate my mother, whatever. That's true for me, but that's also coming out of an emotion. Now, that's true for me in the moment, but I'm not seeing her as one. I'm just going,
What's true for you, okay, just like we were talking about pondering before, pondering is not from charged. We're talking about to Mark. Pondering is not charged. Well, what's true for you is not charged. Yeah. So what's...
But people can use that phrase
Yes.
that you use. Go, well, it was true for me to tell her to fuck off, or it was
Yeah.
true for me to not go near my, particular family of origin. I think it's one of those things there is so much charge around.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just wanted to...
Yep, I understand. And the thing is, again, I mean, what's true for you is a feeling that comes from within you for you to express outside of you, or for you to experience outside of you. But the thing is, that feeling, trust me, your questions, everyone wants to hear. It's a good question. All right? So the thing is, the feeling that arises within you is to be expressed outside of you. But what's not true for you is the opposite. It's something outside of you that's causing you to have a reaction, or it's creating for you to be pulled towards the outside, whether it's out of obligation, out of reaction. Can you see it's different? So it's the story that is pulling you towards something. It's the story that is enticing you to react towards something. What's true for you is something from inside of you that arises to be expressed in the story. Okay? One feels heavy, one feels light. One is I should do, I could do, I would do. One's I love to. Okay? But
I like what you just said. I don't know if I can repeat it, but...
The whole thing?
Yes.
So what's true for you is something that is born from within you to be expressed, or to be experienced outside of you. So you go, oh, this feels true, and you're coming to experience it, right? What's not true for you is something outside of you, something in the story that is causing something inside of you to be pulled towards it. It's out of a reaction. So let's talk about when someone's doing something that's true for them and it's agenda-driven. In other words, you see a diamond and they go, ooh, and they feel pulled towards the diamond. Okay? That's what's not true for you. Something outside of you is sucking you towards it. What's true for you is something inside of you that has come here to be expressed outside of you. One's agenda-driven, one's not. One's light, one's heavy. One's a reaction, one's an action. So, the perfect time to practice all that is at this time. The Christmas time, the New Year's, I always spend a lot of time during the whole New Year's. I mean, I remember last New Year's, I sat by myself at midnight in my home by myself, and I just wanted to be on my own and just give space. That's how I wanted to start the new year last year. So, I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying that, just give some space. It's a time where we've created in the story where things start again. Well, give space to what feels true for you. What feels true for you in this moment as you're starting to look forward towards a new year. And it's a very big year next year. It's a year of, the shifting's already begun. But yeah, I like in Sydney, they always have a theme for the New Year's. I think it was last year's. Do you guys remember what it was? And they have a word. I think last year was like unite or something. Last year's, what was it? That was the year before. So, but this year I saw an ad. It was embrace. They always have really cool words. There's little signposts there. So this whole fireworks, the whole theme of New Year's Eve in Sydney is embrace. It's about embracing. It's about embracing the shift, embracing the change, the transformation that's about to take place. So finally, a couple other things that I will let you guys know. Some of you guys know about OMG intensives that are going to be running. If during the holiday break you're interested in doing a 4-day intensive, I say intensive because this is all about me working with your big elephant, working with the truth, if you like, working with your oneness part, the grandeur. But the OMG intensive is, I bring my sister. Some of you saw my sister drop in just before. I bring my sister into that training and we do it together. We do a 4-day program together, just the two of us. It's just for OMG people who are in OMG. And it's at my house. We do it for about a group of 15, 20 people at the very most. That's all I can fit in my group, in my house. All the food's included. There's organic lunch and all that kind of stuff, which Gaz cooks herself. And that whole program is about working with your ego. So it's very different to this. It's working with your story. So, and that's what Gaz is so masterful at. So I'm there as well. We work together. But Gaz is masterful at working with people's story. Sometimes she's the no bullshit. Okay, so sometimes people get really threatened by that, but she does that with love. But in other words, she'll call you on your stuff. She'll go, "That's bullshit. You're lying," but she'll point you. She'll just go, "Oh, you're lying." You know, she'll actually show you where you're actually bullshitting yourself, and you'll be just like, wow. I mean, who's done Gaz's stuff? You're the only one here. So Jane has, and she's. But anyway, look, if it's something that you, it's in January.
22nd to the 25th.
January 22nd.
22nd.
Yeah, it's when I fly back from overseas, so I can't remember. I'll go straight into that. So it's a Tuesday to Friday. My house, all food's included. It's $3,000 if you do want to do it. And you just have to quickly, Gaz will speak with you first, just to make sure it's something for you. And I think we've got like about 8 or 10 people registered, and we've got like another five or so spots left. So if it's something you want to do, the last registrations we're taking is December 20th? 21st. No, it's the 20th. No, it's a Thursday. So December 20th is the last registration we're taking with that, because then our office closes. Final thing is, I'm going to be recording all these. So we're going to be doing an OMG online. If you're interested in the online version, and you don't need it, because obviously you're here, but if you are interested to just immerse yourself and re-listen to it over and over again, then speak to your mentor and they will tell you what the process of that is as well. Any other questions before we begin to wrap up? How you guys feeling?
Like you said about when you go away on holiday,
Yeah.
it's like the Christmas thing as well. It's like you leave all your baggage behind.
Yeah.
Just like as you said, living in the moment. And you essentially don't have to do much. You just
Yeah.
have to enjoy it. You can do what you want.
Yeah.
And that's totally, I agree totally with that. But some people do get really stressed.
Yeah.
Because they have to have the control and the systems and the things and
Yeah.
I think.
You get both.
Yeah, I find that simultaneity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
So it's a good time to practice this. Do what you love only. Do what's true for you in the moment, and spend the time with the people that's true for you. Just, and watch some of the stuff that comes up when you try to do that. Oh, but I can't. Oh, and then some of your stuff comes up, then you can see. It's a perfect time to do it. So I've passed that on to all the OMG groups. I've got one more OMG group on Friday, and then that's it for the year. And yeah, listen to those webinars that I'll email you. Part of the OMG online that we're doing is that you get monthly recordings of OMG and also weekly audios. So some of these audios that I'm sending you is part of the OMG online thing. And that's how the cookie crumbles.